you have the media saying, we don't know. It could have been one of Charlie's fans shooting off in celebration.
Okay, let's just cut to the chase here about the Charlie Kirk
The abject
assassination.
stupidity of
and I'm gonna
is just
the idiots that are
beyond
coming on television that are so-called experts.
Please,
Why are
America,
the experts
please,
not
experts,
nearly as smart as
please,
just
talking
some guy
heads,
in Idaho
grow
that
yourself
immediately
a fucking brain?
noticed things that made it impossible to be a professional hit? Okay. Number one. Okay, modern day assassins do not use a sport model 30-06 that you could purchase, and that was obviously a sporting goods store purchase. Okay, that rules it out right now, immediately. Secondly, they're not going to use a rifle that can't be torn down. Thirdly, they're not going to leave the rifle at the scene. 4, they're not going to have scribblings about the trans movement, because professional assassins are not, and the deep state right now is not all emotional about transgenderism. Okay, so forget that. Just rule that out. Okay, number 5, the timing of the question that was just asked. One more reason a professional assassin would never try to make some sort of an emotional statement. A professional hit would be, they got to take somebody out that's a threat. And you got to look at the triage of what's most important. They're not going to go through this much to take somebody out that's not an immediate threat to a major power structure. I can't stress that enough. Okay, number 5, if that's where we're at. There's carvings or writings on the rifle that was left behind with a paw print on it at the scene of the crime about pro-trans, this and that. And I know I went back to that again, but it's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Okay, number 6. It was coordinated. Coordination does not mean a professional hit unless they're coordinating with somebody higher up in the security structure, period. Okay? These are just things that occur to me. This is not because I'm a professional investigator. These are things that should have occurred, at the very least, to the so-called professionals that are talking heads on all the newscasts right now. They're idiots. They're not even questioning the fact that they used a 30-06 sport rifle and left the rifle behind. Okay? Let's get back to, what was it, number 6? Number 7? I don't know. I'm losing count. Somebody immediately confessed to being guilty of the shooting. That's an obvious diversion to foul things up, to confuse things, and to give the assassin, the dude that thinks he's a lady, okay, likely, time to escape. Okay, number 7 or 8 or wherever we're at again, there is footage of some obvious libtard-looking guy in the line of one of the cameras. And remember how many cameras are picking all this stuff up. And he looks back directly at where the shot came from immediately. People, when they hear a gunshot, they don't know where it came from until they process it at least a little bit. This guy just immediately jumps up, looks back to the position of where the shooter was, and he goes, yeah, right on, you know. Okay, so he was obviously knew what was going on. A lot of people knew what was going on. And number 8, or wherever we're at, there is a trans shooting group in the Salt Lake City area. They have footage of the person walking all the way through neighborhoods. Yeah, a professional assassin's going to walk through neighborhoods in front of all these Ring cameras and everything. And the person's limping because one of the legs is straight. Obviously, they had slid the 30-06 down into their leg, because footage showing this person walking back, there is no limp. Okay? And in this shooting group, there's a person who apparently, I haven't been able to confirm this, but apparently actually had something posted on social media prior to this event that said Charlie Kirk dead at 31. Or it may have been after. But anyway, they had a post. you know, there is absolutely zero possibility that this was a professional hit from the deep state. It doesn't make any logical sense that right now they have to take care of Charlie Kirk. They got an iron grip on all the educational institutions. The deep state owns education. Okay, Charlie Kirk is a major threat in the long run. They're not concerned about a long run right now. They're concerned about immediate threat with everything that's going on. Okay, and they're scrambling. They've been broken up. They've had their child sex trafficking ring almost shut down as far as trans-border crossings of children for the satanic sex trade. Okay, so they're going to put all this effort into hiring a hitman to take Charlie Kirk out, and they're going to make it an emotional appeal for transgenderism. That is so ridiculously stupid. I can't believe it. It just infuriates me to watch these so-called professionals on the news. Blah blah blah, and they don't even look at the weaponry used as a first huge red flag. Okay, they're just stupid. They're not experts, or they're part of that network of people that take cues from the deep state, like how are we going to spin this? So the deep state is going to use, as they always utilize every event, and they always pass down to the media and to these talking heads that pretend to be experts, and they're not. They're just the stupidest people in the world, or they're being presented because they do hold a position of expertise. So people don't question what they say, and they're coming out there, and they're talking about the fact that, first of all, no red flag about the fact that they know everything about the rifle and they have it in possession. Okay, they don't question that. They don't go, well, that's kind of odd they'd use a 30-06 and a 30-06 sport rifle. Why would you need a 30-06? But they're pointing out that it's very accurate at, a couple thousand yards or whatever. Yeah, we know. I own a 30-06. World War II issue 30-06. They may use it for assassinating people in, World War II. The information I'm sharing is not from being an expert. It's from being smart and educated and informed, all by publicly available information. So please, just stop with the, well, it could be a professional hit, And then they say things like, well, it's a bolt-action rifle. It's more accurate because it has less moving parts. What? The more moving parts for a semi-automatic versus a bolt-action comes after, pardon my language, but it comes after the fucking shot, you morons. You idiots. Do you know anybody that's like, man, I'm just not a very good shot with a semi-automatic because of all them moving parts. That's why I have to have a bolt-action. Yeah, a bolt action that you can't tear down, and the assassin leaves behind at the scene with a palm print and writings about transgenderism that's all emotional. And a professional hit is never going to coordinate with average everyday Joes on the ground so that they can come up and confess, to breed confusion in. Do you realize how stupid sloppy that would be for a professional? Relying on some civilians. Okay, they're never going to take that kind of a risk. They're not going to use people to do stupid things like that. They're not going to have all these people that obviously had knowledge about this whole thing. Like the moron that jumped up and knew, and he's like, yeah. If you, after listening to this, still think it's a professional hit, you are literally probably the most idiotic, stupid moron that ever existed. I mean, you're just not a very smart person. And by the way, it's absolutely disgusting. The people that are celebrating a little girl and a little boy losing their father simply because he offers debate? I'm not thinking so.
Stop with the stupidity. And then you have the media saying, we don't know, it could have been one of Charlie's fans shooting off in celebration. The abject stupidity of people is just beyond belief.
I just watched a close-up video of Charlie Kirk getting pewed in the neck. So you know what time it is.
Got pewed in the throat, so that in his final moments he couldn't in fact speak. I think that's just poetic justice.
After hearing news like this, some form of memoriam is expected. So, in honor of his noble sacrifice, I am going to be getting absolutely blitzed tonight. Who's with me?
People just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place.
Matt.
And that's the unfortunate environment we're in.
Yeah, and again, I emphasize what you just emphasized. We don't know any of the full details of this. We don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
What purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay? The chair lays before the House a communication.
Everyone, good news! They got him in the neck! They got him in the neck! Sit with like a fucking samurai film. Oh, good news! Good news, everyone! Good news!
Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just off a political view? Good that people are dying in America?
Did you see that Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today?
Yes, I did.
How do you feel about that?
I don't really have any feelings about it. Who are you?
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed today. We're just getting people's opinions. How do you feel about that?
Girl, someone had to do it. And that's how I feel at this point in time.